you told him to skip the Widowmaker. He just got married, David.
Well, he's taking his chances.
Stefan Roncada could really help himself with a good performance here today. This is his home track. It's Troy, Ohio, and it's Yamaha of Troy that he's riding for. But a win here could really help him put this title chase away. We're set to go for the 125's first moto of the day. They're off and running. Sellards with an excellent start. Roderick Tane to the outside. Ramsey Sellers to the Fonseca looked like went down, and Casey Johnson had to ride right over his bike. Roncada, not the best start. He'll be at mid-pack. And it's Alof in the lead initially. Pastrana, Lamson, and Bolden in great position, David.
They've all got great starts. Sellards up in there as well. All the players except Roncada are out front.
Lamson in second behind Alof. He's looking to make a move right away because he's got some big guns right behind him. Tane is number 120 on the right.
This 125 class is so competitive now that if you make one good move or bad one in the beginning of the race, that can really tell the story for the rest of the moto.
There went Lammy. Boy, does he need a good performance here today to get back in the points chase. Bolin cuts it to the inside, and wham, he's off the bike.
Might have been a bad decision right there. Look at all the riders going by. He crashed in that opening lap, and half the pack passes him.
Lamson starting to take the lead now and pull away from Alof as we take another look at the crash.
You see Pastrana right there trying to get into the inside. Bolin gambled and doubled in. No room at all. Hits the back tire high side. He already knows he made a mistake right there.
A bad choice. Alof, who has a total of only 3 points on the season, will try to hold on a second. We'll be right back with more 125 action in a moment. The Chevy Trucks AMA Motocross Series is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance on two wheels. Performance first. And by Suzuki, makers of innovative motorcycles and ATVs. 125's Moto number 1 from Troy, Ohio. Kenworthy's Motocross Park, glad you could join us. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Davey Kearns. Out front, Steve Lamson. Roderick Tane trying to make a move now on Alof. Roderick Tane has been the less heralded of the French riders to come over this year in his first full American season. But my goodness, he's made good progress.
He has, and it hasn't been consistency really that's done. It's just been performances here and there, especially Unadilla at the last event, leading as much as he did. That gives you confidence. When you get up there and run with the front runners, you start to get the feeling that you belong up there, and here he is again. He's got Pastrana breathing down his neck, but good for KTM so far. They got 2 of their bikes in that lead group.
He had a tough time at Redbud with a 16th, but then came back with a 6th, and is certainly in much better position right now in this first moto. Lamson has not led a lap since Budds Creek. This is the first time he's been out front. And Budds Creek was only the 5th round, so he's anxious to get back up into the limelight and into the points chase.
That's what was helping Steve in the first place. When the series got underway, he was getting excellent starts, leading the races, and he would just drift back slightly, probably because he hadn't raced in so long. But now it's time to start getting back in there, putting the heat on Roncada and Pastrana.
Whoa, and that's Pastrana banging with Tane.
Interesting technique right there by Pastrana coming over that triple there. He wheelied up the first one and just let his rear wheel tip the top of the next to still get over that triple.
Tane to the inside on Alof. And he makes the pass into second place, but look who's right behind him. That's the exciting Travis Pastrana. Pastrana to the inside on Alof, and he moves into third. So quick changes right now.
Had to muscle his way in there as well. You can see that Lamson's starting to get away a little bit. That's who he's trying to stay ahead of in the point standings. He needs to get up there and put some pressure on him.
Boy, the Yamaha Troy boys are really having their troubles here on their home track in front of the big wigs of the company. And we've got word that Roncada's in trouble. Let's go down to Davey.
Dan, we know that Steppen had some problems. Can you tell from where you're standing what's wrong?
We thought maybe it was a bent shift lever, but he broke his toenail right off, and he was fiddling with his boot. I'm thinking he maybe smacked his foot and had to get his boot fixed. We couldn't really tell. He's going good now, but I don't really know. I won't know until I talk to him.
We saw you guys setting up for maybe a possible pit stop. Is that now off?
Yeah, it's off. Well, we thought the shift lever was bent, but the bike seems to be fine. I think he hurt his foot again, to be honest.
Well, that could have ramifications for later on. I remember you telling me, David, you rode with a broken toe one time, or a broken ankle.
Well, Roncada may have to. If he in fact hurt his foot, that's why it's so important for him to string together all those wins to try to get a little cushion to deal with things like this that inevitably happen. See how hard Pastrana landed right there? That could have been a toe into the peg, no problem.
Basically a man-made track. It's the closest thing to a supercross track you'll find in the motocross scene. And Sellards is now trying to really put some heat on Pastrana. Brock Sellards, who's had a difficult time, said that after such a great points race in supercross, it just kind of took the energy and wind right out of his sails mentally.
Well, that's understandable, and probably the fact that he had a shot at the title at the final round and lost it. And, his results here have been uninspired at times, and I think you're seeing the same thing from David Pingree in that Western division.
Sellards with one podium on this year, and that was a third place at Budds Creek. He got a third in the first moto, whole shot the second moto, but slipped to fifth. Lee McCollum giving the sign to Travis Pastrana. Pastrana, we already know that he's going to run a 250 opening up the next Supercross season at Anaheim. But we'll run the 125 East races, and the same will be for Stefan Roncada, who's near signing his deal with Yamaha of Troy once again.
Let's just fast forward to that, because I can't wait to see how these guys do with their first chance at the 250. It won't be for Roncada, but for Travis, these guys can definitely run in there and get a win.
Lamson, Tane, Pastrana, our top threes. We've got a great race underway. More coming up. We're back at Kenworthy's Farm in Troy, Ohio. 125 action, moto number 1. Roderick Tane. And we asked him about the pronunciation of his name, and he said definitely Tane. Don't pronounce the H, anybody. And we go with the way they want it said. Steve Lapson is still our leader, and Lammy's holding true.
Not by much, though. Actually, Tane has started to close the gap a little bit.
Here he comes, number 120 on the KTM. They say that this 125 KTM stock engine is as powerful as anything in the pits. If they ever get that suspension down, and the tour riders like Tane, wow, they could be tough. Tane has been mentioned as a Frenchman. His second language, however, is German. How about that, Davey?
Hey, Ryan, I know you're working with a French rider, but that's about as English as it gets.
Yeah, well, his English has gotten much better, especially when we've been in the lead lately, so hopefully we'll get there.
Well, speaking of that, last week at Unadilla, you guys had a great moto going the second moto, then a little problem with the bike, but I see he's put that behind him. He's all over Lamson today here at Kenworthy.
Yeah, after, he rode excellent both motos last weekend, and we did a lot of testing this week, and just his riding all week has been spot on. You can just see a little fire in him, and I'm excited right now.
All right, so far so good. And listen, was he more depressed by what happened, or did that just light a fire under him?
I think it more or less lit a fire. He's like, I got the speed. It was like the first time where he's like, I know I have the speed, so, we're just waiting to see what happens.
I'm impressed right now with the pressure Tane's putting on Lamson, who I thought may be slowing, but they're actually pulling away from third right now. Tane is just up the pace.
Lamson's our leader, but Tane is putting the heat on. Tane didn't qualify for the first Supercross of the year, but he finished in the top 10 at all the rest. Led 5 laps at Houston, finishing third. Took the whole shot and led a lap at San Diego, finishing fourth. He's just showing us a lot of promise now after finishing fourth in his Supercross division. Tane to the inside. Here comes Lammy back again. Back and forth we go. KTM versus Honda. Lamson on the Works Connection Honda and Tane on the factory KTM.
Tane had a good idea going to the inside. He's trying it again. See how rough it gets, all these ruts. The track looks pretty smooth until you see something like that. But here was Tane to the inside. Lamson had it covered. He can't keep going wide like that, or they're eventually going to be able to stop in his line where he won't have the opportunity to get back to the inside.
But Lamson recaptured the lead. That's where we sit right now with Tane on his rear tire.
I guarantee you Lamson's starting to think about what he should be doing right now because Tane is putting that pressure on him. There's you can again. I believe it.
Lamson, the veteran in 125 ranks. He has 21 125 wins. That's the third winningest 125 outdoor rider, behind the record holders, of course, Mark Barnett and Ricky Carmichael. But this is the first motocross season for Tane, and he's looking good. He first came to the United States with FMF when they had so many injuries during the '99 Supercross season. Bobby Moore at the time went to Europe and brought him over for 4 races. 2 19th places and a 15th at Anaheim. That was his best at Anaheim, too, the 15th place. And then he came back at the end of the season to run one race for KTM. He's got a future. Lamson, Tane, Pastrana, still our top three. More 125 action from Kenworthy coming up. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Davey Coombs bringing you the action from Troy, Ohio. First moto of 125 action. Number 199, Travis Pastrana, Team Suzuki, is our leader, but Sellards is hounding him right now. Pastrana trying to take advantage. He's second in points to Stefan Roncada. Roncada hasn't broken the top 10, but look at this. Sellards bar to bar with Pastrana as they come off the double jump. Sellards comes in behind, cuts to the inside, and Sellards is our new leader. So Pastrana has led one lap, and Brock Sellards takes over.
I think Travis thought he was going to spend a little bit more time out there. He's been dealing with the pressure from Sellards all this time. I think he was just getting numb to it, but Sellards took advantage right there. Actually had to clip the front wheel. Travis goes a little wide right there, front end washes. Sellards across the inside, almost hits the front wheel of Travis. Good reflexes right there by Travis to not hit his back tire and make a bigger mistake and go down.
Sellards is looking for a win here at Troy. He got his first motocross 125 win in AMA circles last year at Washougal. And Washougal's the next race.
So you got to be wondering what's going through Lamson's mind. He led this race, had a great pace, held off the early charges of Tane, and now he's watching these young kids just disappear.
Here's Roncada back in the pack. He's in back of Greg Schnell, number 63, the privateer.
He's still got a ways to go to work his way into the top 10, so imagine how much of a points boost it's going to be for Lamson and Pastrana. He's going to tear a chunk out of his points lead.
For those of you just tuning in, Roncada had part of his boot torn off in a confrontation and is battling to get back to mid-pack.
Look how that is. When you're trying to battle through the pack like that, you got guys trying to take 2 or 3 different lines, racing with each other, and it's so hard to find a way around.
Roncada making the move on Kelly Smith, who hasn't done much since his win at Mount Morris. That Kelly has really had some tough times. Even didn't get a point out of the last race at Unadilla. Had a hard crash in the first moto that affected him in the second moto as well. Here's Schnell and Roncada. They're going together. Look at that. Nick Way now has moved up into 5th place. He has 1 podium, but he's coming off 3 straight 11th place finishes overall. Nick really needs a good race.
Roncada had the right side in that straightaway, which has been working, and he switches back over to the left. He doesn't have long to go to try to make up points.
Come out through the woods. They see the white flag. The white flag is for this young man, number 18, Brock Sellards, who's now pulled a large lead.
It's the best I've seen Sellards ride in a while. He seems aggressive. He's attacking the track, and through all these timing sections, he's getting through there better than Roncada and Travis and Lamson. You know, those are the guys that usually shine at the timing, and it's Brock that sort of scrubs off speed, hitting the tops.
This would be his first moto win here at Troy, Ohio. He took a 3-2 in last year's race.
He wheelies over that bump right there at the approach. You can see behind him the lead that he's developed. That's substantial. When he can get around Lamson and Pastrana, and Pastrana is reasonably healthy right now, I'd imagine, and be able to pull a lead like that, that's huge.
Sellards' best moto this year came in the first moto at Southwick, where he placed 3rd. But then he had a 14th in the second for a 6th overall.
This is the boost he needs. You know, it's such a bummer when you go out and you try your hardest and you end up in first turn crashes and having problems and working your way through the pack to 3rd, and everyone's telling you, boy, if you just had a better start or a few more laps. Well, now he's going to get that reward. That should change his mental outset, or his mindset, I should say, for the rest of the season.
David, that's a gnarly looking section right in there, and this is only the first of 4 motos.
And those ruts are going to get deeper as the day goes on, so it'd be real easy to get your foot torn off if you don't have it riding around on the ball of your foot.
Just one turn away, the checkers are waving, and Brock Sellards gets his first moto win of this season. Pastrana, something must have happened to his bike as he faded back to 4th. Roncada's not even on this board. He finished in 11th, but look at what happened to Fonseca. From last to 7th place, he had a crash in the first turn. Let's go down to Davey.